Good morning to you. How are you doing? Welcome to Alphamas Media, and this is a breakfast show. And my name is Grace Mathoni, and this show comes to you every single day from Monday to Friday, from 8 a.m. all the way to 10 a.m. in the morning. And we are having the best time of our lives talking about agriculture and everything included: how you plant, how you take care of your crops, how you even take these things to the market, and for the guys who are seriously looking to start marketing their own products, this is for you. Remember, you can join all these conversations from now up until the end of the day. You will have so many tailor-made programs just for you. Uh, the way you can get interacting with us is by logging into Facebook, and we are at a farmers with a Z at the end on Facebook, and on YouTube we are at a farmers media. That is how you get to us. You can comment, your opinion, your worries, whatever it is you'd like us to help you address. This is a go-to place. My name is Grace Mahoney, and let's get started, shall we? Now, I'm just concerned with the fact that in the last two days we have recorded about an increase of coronavirus infection of about 21 point something percent. Yes, that is really worrying, and also the fact that that wave is here, regardless of the fact that we are having jobs now or the vaccine. Yeah, it's already here, but then again, there's so many concerns that are just shooting from right, left, center, right? But what I want to remind you is the fact that we can take care of each other. I can take care of you. You can take care of me, and just like that, we can take care of a whole community. And the government of Kenya, and in partnership with the Ministry of Health, they've come up with at least three guidelines that you and I should follow, and they are the following: one, make sure before you leave your house and every time you're away from the comfort of your home, you have your face mask on, covering your mouth and your nose. It is very, very important, you know that. Also, make sure if you're wearing the reusable masks, you wear a clean one every single day. At least in 8 hours, you should have a clean one, right? Also, if you're wearing the disposable ones, make sure that you get a new one every single day. Or yeah, as well as when you are disposing them, you also need to take care because mhm, we should not litter our our environment, right? As well as the fact that that litter is very harmful. So should someone bump into it, for example a child, now that they're all at home, exactly, you see what we are preventing. The second regulation is you keep cleaning your hands with soap and running water, and in case you can't access a hand washing point at all times, make sure you carry your own sanitizer, and it should be at least 60% alcohol based so that it can be effective. Also, remember to keep a distance of about 1.5 to 2 meters between you and the next person. Now, there's something I want to demystify. You cannot do one and exclude the other. It's not neither nor. It's all of them together. You can't have your face mask on and not wash your hands, because if you touch a surface that has that virus, and then you go and touch your face, what are you doing really? You see, you cannot do either or. It is all of them together. It is the most effective way we can do by preventing ourselves. Yeah, like I told you, you don't want to be on the side of statistics. It's really it's not how we want to go down history books. Yeah, I know we always want to go down as tulikuwa hapo alafu hivi ndo kulienda. No, this time round, it is not funny. And let me caution all the guys who are just ignorant for no reason, for whatever reason. There are four major reasons why coronavirus is spreading super fast. I will tell you four things, and you know yourself, right? Let's go. I trust my workmates. Surely they are responsible enough and they are COVID free. Unless you were tested the same center, the same time, no one is safe, and stop assuming. The second one, these are my besties. I know where they have been. No, you don't. You don't know where they touched. You don't know if they washed their hands. You don't know whether they've sanitized. And why is their mask down when they're speaking to you? That is still ignorance. The that reason is we are related. I know them. I know them well, and besides, we are in a small group. Mm-mm. Still, stop assuming. Just don't. Unless you are from being tested and then your results are negative and then they've sanitized or washed their hands and they're having a face mask on, it doesn't matter. And why are you so close anyway? And the fourth one, I am now tired of the mask. It's uncomfortable and I cannot breathe properly when I wear it. Oh my goodness. And you're guilty of this one, the last one. Yeah, tell you what, if you have a cold, um, and you're having your face mask on, you know it's a struggle. Whether you're having a cold or you just don't have a cold and you're having a face mask 8 hours a day, oh yeah, it is tedious. It is tiresome. So just don't get tired. It's only what 7 more hours until home time. Exactly. You need to put your face mask on. Like I said, we don't want to go down history books as statistics. We want to be on the other side of this still, right? And how you and I become or get to the other side safely is by taking care of each one of ourselves, taking care of the people around us, and then that is how we raise a whole community. Of COVID-free people, right? Are we together? Is that has that sunk in? Is that alright? Now let's go into what I want us to talk about. Yes. First, let me remind you that this month of March is the Women's History Month and it's going to go on up until the 31st. So, yeah, just brace yourselves. Now, at Farmers Media, we pride ourselves in telling the story of the African farmer, and it is you and I who are the African farmers, and we are championing that every single day. And should you have had or watched a program here and you're wondering how can you now do what they said, because after we give you information you're stranded, just reach out to us, and hey, we will help you. You might just be the person you need to bridge the gap between you and going to the farm to do what you heard. Is that all right? Yes. We offer solutions and we make sure that these solutions are feasible for you and for me and for every other farmer. Is that all right? All right. Now, today I want us to talk about youths participating in agriculture. Yeah, right. We've been trying to pull the youth here, and we are thinking, hey, it is high time we shifted our minds from the white collar jobs from no farming. It just can't. Haiwezi make because Kenya and Africa at large, we need food. We need so much food, so much so that it scares me when I remember that annually lazima one African country ikuwe wase wanalala njaa. As in, guys are starving, guys are going hungry. So you see, it is the main reason as to why we need to have a food sustainability, or at least security for a rainy day, and you never know which day comes. Now, who knew last year, a time like now, we would, the whole world would come to down on its knees. Who knew? No one, you see. And do you see the mayhem that erupted once that happened? We're like, hiya, there's partial, like partial restriction of movements, right? So there was no inter-county movement, yeah, save for the crooks who overturned this because hey, they can. Uh, but look at what we went through, right? Guys, now the guys who are living in urban centers, right? Remember urbanization? Here we are again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, everything is interrelated to the other. Exactly. So we saw the guys who were in the urban centers. Um, they had to now go back home and say, hey, we're losing jobs. Hey, food here is expensive. Hey, food here is out. Hey, we are starving. And then the elderly who lived in the rural areas, some who were left there, had to go to their farms with the little they had. Pack all those things in bags, pack the maize, the beans, the manago, the terere, and then put them komagari, and then they would come overnight, and then terminus, the buses and matatus, you would see people waiting for their parcels of food, as in it was that big. So you see why we need to pull everyone as much as we can. All this labor that is really young and energetic, we just need to bring everyone on board, and most especially the ladies or the women as well as the youth, because hey, men have been here long enough and it's time we assisted them. We're not coming to serve them and then they go and sit at the bench. Easy. We are coming here to pull our resources, as well as our energies, as well as our labor force, so that we can become a powerhouse of food creation for our people. And then the surplus, should we get there, we can sell it to our neighboring countries, or at least even think big, go global, right? But before we get there, everyone is needed here. And now, like I was saying, the millennials. Oh my goodness. Yes, it is you. Just come back here. Just look at me. It's all right. No one is judging anyone today. Today I'm just alright. Now, millennials. Let's be honest. When did you drop agriculture in school? In Form One. Uh huh. Mm-hmm. Right. You see, most of us have not interacted with agriculture at all. Not even the kitchen gardens, because those ones belong to our mothers and our aunties, and our grandmas, right? Where just outside where they plant, like what, like just one row of onions, and the other one kuna skuma, and then hapa pengine kuna spinach. Do you see where I'm going with this? Exactly. Now that we want to include this labor force of the youth or the young farmers, and that is around between 18, let's call it up, it's supposed to be 35, but let's take it to 40, right? These people are just accustomed to knowing that unless you're becoming a lawyer, unless you are, working in a lush environment, cameras rolling and people bowing, ukipita, that kind of thing. Exactly. That is what they've been accustomed to. I mean, that's what they've been conditioned to thinking since they reported to school on day one. Yes, but now we are trying to bring them, to attract them, because unless you have something attractive, they're not going to come. It's just like when you're going to fish. On that hook, you must put something that will lure the fish to come, yeah? So that when they're going to bite, it can, the hook can, get stuck on their, yeah, on them. Exactly. It's the same thing. We need something we need, I don't want to call it a shiny object, but we need something to pull the
You
youth
wanted
or
as a
make
farmer.
them participate in agriculture
The
actively.
whole
Now, there's so many things that have gone wrong, so
Hi,
much so
welcome again to
that
the farm,
by the time
where
we are
today
getting the
we'll be talking
millennials
about
back here,
multiple heads in cabbages
Generation Z watakuwa
and how
shakuja na wakati over. But before they do, it is time we prepare ourselves, right? So, in Kenya, 65% of the population lives in rural areas, and 70% of these households depend on agriculture for livelihood. So that's the first point. If nothing should attract anyone anywhere, that should attract you to the fact that we need to grow food, and we need to grow food as soon as yesterday. But hey, today's still a good day to start, right? Now, agriculture provides employment, mhm, income generation, and food security, all the while reducing poverty through increased productivity, value addition, and it has links to other sectors, right? Because let's be honest, if your food needs to be transported from the shamba to the market, kuna transport services, right? Exactly. And right there. And if you are hiring a stall where you sell your goods from, that is still another association from farmers to, guys, landlords, yeah, and landladies, right? Exactly. Now, we need to talk about the elements that have negatively affected the youth's perception of agriculture. And here they are. We will talk about all of them. Uh-huh. The negative imagery of emaciated farm families. Now, let's be honest. When someone says, um, we are farmers, what picture comes to your mind? Haggard people with torn, dirty clothes and torn gumboots and kept hair and kept nails and they just they look like scarecrows, right? Exactly right. And then now translate this down to the families because in at least in our rural areas, at least it's I don't want to say it's the way of life, but that's what people grew into. Wewe unazaliwa unapata baba yako na mama yako, they go to attend to their shamba every single day, and so you too be unawajoin because let's be honest, they would leave this parcel of land to you when their time comes to fold their arms and just sit down and feel the sunset and the sunrise, right? Exactly. Now that's what I'm talking about. But hey, it's just the perception that the youths have, or at least the young farmers have. Um, the report of unpaid farmers. Oh yeah, akuna kitu. There's nothing that scares the millennials, the youths, or people, the young farmers. There's nothing that scares them like they will grow food, come sell it, maybe to a company, or come sell it, or give it to a vendor, or give it to a middleman, whoever comes for it. And in that moment, they don't get paid up until the next harvest. Exactly. First of all, how do they even live? Exactly. That's the problem. Right there. Exactly. Exactly. And that is why it is not attracting. It is not attractive anymore to the youths to farm. It's just, you can't tell them that. I mean, example of the food processing companies that have zimekuwa Kenya and then zimekufa tu tukiziangalia. Let's talk about sugarcane, for example, right? In Mumias, Kenya, right? Uh, those farmers, they had acres and acres of land with nothing but sugar cane. Oh yeah. And for the longest time, we've been consuming sugar cane from our very own country, making sugar. And that was very awesome and cool. But now, every time they would sell to Mumias Sugar wanasema, nyinyi leteni tu, pesa ikiletwa na serikali, tutawapatia, But what happens, or what happened was the fact that this food would not get not this food this money would never come because the people at the helm of these companies, they were embezzling these funds and God knows taking the money to off offshore accounts and doing whatever else they were doing. But my problem is these farmers never almost saw any money. They would work hard, they would toil, they would ear in ear out, sugarcane ziko kwa wingi, you go sign contracts. I was say wanakam na ma tractors ama ma harvesters, let's call them harvesters, I don't even know the real name, but wanakam na harvesters, wanakam wana harvest. I've seen how that thing works. I think it just uproots and throws it huko nyuma. I think so. I assume. But I think I've seen it on TV once. Yeah. The point is, these guys never got the money. Some of them are in bad debts juu wanaenda wanasema yeah, pesa yetu inakaa in the next 2 months ama 2 weeks, so niko sawa, we nipatie loan na 5% nitakurudishia hiyo siku. Oh manzi, that day comes and nothing, money does not come, money does not reflect on the account. Ama when you go sit there and wait for the money, the guys who come there with their public opinions, I mean that the bellies, I think I don't know, just big stomachs there, and their expensive suits, or even non-fitting suits, and their color coordinated socks, as well as other belts and the ties. Look, what I'm saying is, this will just come and tell you, sasa pesa haijatoka bado, or whatever excuse they would give, right? So why do you think you would want to tell a youth to join them to go through that again? You see, that becomes unattractive, and that is why the youths or the young farmers have been shying away from farming for a really long time now. Although we want to change that right now, right? Exactly. Now, Another thing that does not attract the youths is the fact that there is devastating post-harvest management, such as rotting cereals and fruit dominating the media's agriculture coverage. Now, yesterday we talked about we asked a question whether the media was doing enough, right, in covering or in covering the bases in agriculture, and we said that they were not doing enough, and we saw the reasons as to why, and we had suggestions and everything. Now, in this media reports, there is something like devastating post-harvest management. You harvest your goods, and then unaweza kwa lori, inaweza kwa barabara. I think there's a standoff like that one, right? All lorries are supposed to go and take, I think it was either maize, or I don't remember what food it was, and then you could see uh lorries and trucks, and they were all in it was like a whole, yard, yard sale ya malori ziko na food huko nyuma, but then this food was rotting because mahali unafaa kupeleka kwa store where the government has said we have bought all these, zikiiva leteni huku, ama once you harvest them and they're ready, bring them here, and then our storage keepers watakama offload, wachukue vitu huko ndani, and then you guys can now go process pesa yenyu. I don't know what happened. There was a standoff between, I think, the government and the guys the authorities there at the same as the warehouse. It was a whole standoff. Now, when the youth see something like that, do you think they are attracted at all to come and do farming? I don't think so, sir. No, I don't think so. I beg to differ. So you see, that is why they really wouldn't that is why the youth have been, or the young farmers have been, shying away uh from farming actively. They just wanna be the guys who are eating this food, right? Now, we need to understand that unless this changes, we are never, ever going to attract as many youths as we would want. Maybe kuna mmoja atasema ni sawa tu, wacha nikajaribu. Ni sawa tu, my parents do this, I think I might walk into their shoes. And they're very it's even devastating to just see the small numbers of the ones who want to try, because why would you want to walk right into a trap? I don't think so. I don't. As you can be walking, see your friend fall into a ditch, and still follow them. Unless you're blind, and that's understandable, right? Exactly. So and even it becomes even more sad when you have grown with parents who are farmers, right? And then you can see them going through this any first hand information. Wewe unachukunga statistics kwa nyumba yenyu, unasema gava ijalipa our dads, our moms. There are times we would maybe it should of course was shule because we had jalipa school fees. When you go back again, the government again, ama at least our dads and our parents have not been paid since they delivered this goods or this produce, exactly. So you see, it's gonna be really, really hard unless this narrative changes, right? Exactly. Now, the youth also consider agricultural jobs painstaking and unrewarding. Let's be honest. I mean, in this digital era, you want the youth or the young farmers to what? Go and dig trenches to plant? Are you serious? Do you think they can? They're doing everything on their phones. And if the phones would go and dig these things, probably maybe they would get involved. But as long as the phones are not digging those trenches, that is just too hard, and it's painstakingly devastating and unrewarding. Like I've been saying, it's really unrewarding if all you do is go back to your farm, put up really good crops, tomatoes, onions, or let's talk about maize and sugarcane, and unapelekea gava, ama that the government comes and buys from you. They go, process the food, and then wanauza, and you guys don't get anything. And then you see, the irony is, you sell the maize, um they process the maize into maize flour, and then you go to the supermarket and buy this, and na bado hujalipwa. I know, right? Exactly. that and reward, that the fact that there's no reward anywhere in between there, exactly, it becomes really, really hard to convince the youth that they need to get involved here. And it's as simple as that. So yeah, you can't just be doing, you see, like I said, if you wake up in the morning to go to work to provide solutions, you need to be rewarded and handsomely for that. It could be rewards. It could be rewards in form of what, in form of payment, salaries. It could be in terms of, other things like after the salary, what else is there, what else is added. It could be, those two rewards mnaambiwa, the ones, the inter-house rewards were mnaambiwa, when you deliver this on top of the salaries we pay you, we'll give you 1, 2, 3, 4. On days like these ones will have, you get paid trips to wherever, as in, but in all honesty, I don't want to see which companies, which food processing companies that buy food from their from our Kenyan farmers reward these Kenyan farmers, apart from paying them their dues, reward them with things like trips to anywhere. Do you know of any? I have never met one, unless I don't know. Sijui mtu yote. Mnaambiwa ati now, let's talk about, for example, it's a harmless example, right? Let's talk about milk. Let's say, I don't want to say names because I can't I can't afford kubebwa juju. Let's talk about milk, right? So let's say it's company A. So we are the ones who get milk, right? You guys bring milk to us, you sell to us, we come tunasema, we would like to be buying milk from you, so you'll be giving us milk and bring, right? So the only thing I have seen the farmers being rewarded are things like, for farmers, I think every, is it end month, or it's either end month or the first day of every new month. I think I would see my grandma working there. They would sell their milk, and on top of the money wanapatiwa, I think it comes monthly, is it yearly? I don't know. But at least every month they would go and get cooking oil that they would just get, if you supply your milk to them on top of the check that you collect at the end of the month, they would get. And it was the only time, I don't know if they still do, but shongoje sema ati he tumelipiwa twende Nanyuki. So you see, the rewards and the youths right now are working, looking at things like those ones. Let's be honest. It is good to work as much as everyone is working. Keep working, make the money, secure the bag. Although nowadays the bag is you, but hey, it's right. The rewards that come with it at the end of probably every 3 months, you're given unaambiwa, we have paid a trip to go do something like that. You see, that is what the youth is accustomed to. So if you're not giving them this, some of this benefits and some of these rewards, on top of the money that you owe them, they are likely not to come back. Now, as you ponder on that, we are going to take a short commercial break. And remember, this is the breakfast show that comes to you every single day from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. all the way to 10 a.m. with me, Grace Smuthoni, right here on Our Farmers Media, telling the story of the African farmer, one story at a time. In the meantime, between time, do not go anywhere. However, remember to sanitize. I will see you on the other side of this break.
Drip irrigation is a type of micro irrigation system, or sometimes called trickle irrigation, that has potential to save water and nutrients by allowing water to drip slowly to the roots of plants, either from above the soil surface or buried below the surface from a system of small diameter plastic pipes. fitted with outlets called emitters or drippers. The emitters slowly drip water into the soil at the root zone, therefore moisture levels are kept at optimum range, thus improving plant productivity. You can grow different crops using drip irrigation, be it tomatoes, spinach, skuma wiki, beetroots, celery, and many more crops will thrive using drip irrigation method. Drip irrigation is especially beneficial as it provides better plant health, less waste, reduced risk of diseases, money saving, weed control, and saves time. Drip irrigation is the most efficient water and nutrient delivery system for growing crops. Melon is a trailing vine in the gourd family. The word melon can refer to either the plant or specifically to the fruit. Watermelon is a type of melon that is sweet and refreshing fruit. Watermelons can either be grown on home gardens for small-scale farmers or large-scale depending on the market demand. You can either transplant or plant watermelon seeds directly. For best performance, plant watermelons in hot, sunny locations with loose, fertile, well-drained soil that is rich in organic matter. It is best to plant watermelons on raised rows and ensure that the soil pH is between 6.0 to 6.8. On average, it takes around 3 months for a watermelon to grow from seed to mature fruit, with smaller varieties having shorter growing times than larger varieties of watermelon. Watermelon growing, if done rationally and on a scalable basis, can be a good source of income.
As we quickly progress from agriculture to agribusiness, market is key. Join us every Wednesday as we bring to you Market Watch, a show that covers candid discussions regarding the state of the market. Tune in and let's turn our farms into businesses.
good morning to you. How are you doing? Welcome to eFarmers Media right here. My name is Grace Mahoney, and this is a breakfast show, a show that comes to you every single day from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. all the way to night at 10 a.m. in the morning. And here we are telling the story of the African farmer, one story at a time. Now, today is a very good day because we're talking about something that we've been trying to encourage you every single day about. But hey, before we get there, let me just say a very good morning to Baltazar, and I say a very good morning. Good morning to you too, sir. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. I remember you can also send in a shout out, your good morning, whatever it is that you would like to ask, say, or express. We are live on Facebook at Alphamas with a Z, and on YouTube at Alphamas Media, and we are going to see whatever it is that you'll have requested, either to say hi to us or to tell us how you feel about the topic of the day. Before we get there, let's just talk about coronavirus. Yeah, the fact that COVID-19 is here and the third wave is very stronger, and it's more dangerous than the one that we had the first time, right? Now, things that we need to keep in mind to keep you, me, and everyone else safe are three things that have been recommended by the government of Kenya in collaboration with the Ministry of Health. The first one is wearing of the face mask. Yes, make sure every time you leave your house, your face mask is on, over, and above your mouth and your nose, not on the chin. Ama hapa katikati ya mapua and the lower lip and the upper lip. No, just covering your mouth and your nose. Make sure you can access hand washing points where you use soap and running water not less than 20 seconds to wash your hands, and if you're unable to do that every other minute, make sure at least you take care of yourself using a sanitizer. Sanitize your hands as often as you can, right? When you touch the doorknob, make sure you sanitize. When you go to maybe the kitchen and there's no water, do so. When you're from outside, just make sure you sanitize, right? It is sanitizing as often as you can, or alternatively, washing your hands. Now, the other thing that you need to make sure you observe is the physical rule. Make sure between you and another person there is physical distance of about 1.5 to 2 meters at all times. Now, four things to also look for to look into, or at least four ignorant things that are causing this virus to spread as fast as it is. Remember, I've told you in the last 2 days we have had an infection rate of about 21%. That is dangerously high. Now, the four major reasons as to why coronavirus is spreading as fast as it is in the country is because of these four things. I trust my workmates, surely they are responsible enough and they are COVID-19 free. Like I said, unless you tested them and you can guarantee that for sure, stop assuming, and that is ignorance. Also, these are my besties. I know where they have been. No, dear, you don't know where they've been. Or did you sanitize when you went for the break? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Stop assuming. You just can't assume that the other person is taking care of themselves just because you are taking care of yourself. You see, you can't assume, and you need to stop assuming. The other thing, or the third thing, is we are related. I know them well, and besides, we are in a small group. All the more dangerous it is. Yes, you know them. They're your cousins, maybe your sister, your brother. But have they sanitized? Are they COVID free negative? Can you confirm that? They have the face mask on. Why are you still so closely together? Exactly. This is stop ignoring. I am now tired of the mask. It's uncomfortable and I cannot breathe properly when I wear it. Yeah, and to that effect, I feel like sisi wote tuko hapo. We are going through that cycle of, hey, wearing face masks is tedious, and I hate it. Trust you me, no one hates it more than I do. But you see, we need to make sure we still have it 8 hours a day. If you're wearing the reusable ones, make sure it's clean every morning. Also, make sure if you're using the disposable ones, you dispose them well, and you use a new one every single day, not more than 8 hours, and then you dispose it properly. Yeah, are we together? It is as simple as that, and together we will be able to go back where we were in January when the kids were going back to school. Yeah. Oh, Kenyans in Kenya, we are having our national exams. I think they've already started. Manze, success to every candidate in 2021. From here at A Farmers, we wish you nothing but the best to make you shine, right? Now, today on the breakfast show, we are talking about involving or the youth participation in agriculture, and we have seen that 65% of the population already live in the rural areas, right? And these are the people who are now migrating to come to town or to come to cities in the urban centers, right? Because they're like, hey, hatuwezi kaa mashambani tena, tumechoka, we need a change of environment, we need to look for white collar jobs. You see, now we need to attract these young farmers, this young blood, wakuje warudi home tuanze kulima pamoja, because remember this the food security is in the hangs on the balance in this country as well as the whole of the African continent, and that is why we're calling on everyone, kila mtu not guka but shusho, but not them, but the cousins, the brothers, the sisters, the uncles, the aunties, we need to go back, the moms, the dads, we need to go back to our to our very fertile lands and start farming actively so that we can be able to secure our future. Can you imagine just how amazing it's going to be as a country, as a continent, when in a year we don't have a single case of anyone starving in any of these African countries? Can you imagine just how much we will have won against, drought and people dying of hunger? Can you imagine just how much, And then, like I said, the surplus. Who stops us from selling the surplus to, going global, right? Exactly. If we are able to make world changing discoveries, in things and with things, like right now in this fight against COVID, we are wearing, or our frontline workers are wearing PPEs made right here at home, and they're safe and secure. Now, why wouldn't we go back to our fertile? Underline the word fertile, because our soils, oh yeah, they are fertile, full of minerals, and they're in good conditions, to hold the crop up until it's harvested. Exactly. You see, so now we need to go back home and make use of those shambas, and that is why we have been this month in specific talking about women inclusion in these conversations. And now today we're talking about the youth, and we need them to be here actively. Remember also, the whole month of March is Women's History Month. Yes, telling a story a single day. Watch out for that space, right? Now we've seen the things that do not attract the youth into farming. And in case you're joining us, we talked about things like the negative imagery of farmers who are not doing so well, farmers with torn clothes, farmers with full of hopelessness on their faces, farmers who are suffering in their families, farmers who are not paid their dues by maybe the companies that are buying the food, and most especially the government. Serikali ingililia kati, those phrases exactly. Now we also have the fact that post harvest management, such as rotting cereals and fruit, while zinatransportiwa into the warehouses, it is very devastating, and you just can't expect to see the whole of the youth walking into that trap. For them, it does not make sense. Also, we have things like the labor force, the labor that is painstakingly, too much for them, as well as unrewarding. Like I said, the millennials, or the young people in this country as well in this continent, they're tech savvy. So if those trenches and those and those holes can be dug using a phone, just by bundles, and then you put the phone probably on the swell, and then boom, kuna shimo hapo ya kupanda hiyo mahindi. Ayayay, we would all be there because we are tech savvy, and those jobs that just require too much energy. They don't want to be there. So you see, that is why, that is also another reason they're not attracted there. And then these things are unrewarding. Like I said, no one, I've never seen a company rewarding farmers with getaway or holidays or something like that, right? Exactly. That is what is a problem, right? So because what the youth or the young blood or the young people have been are accustomed to by now is every 3 months, oh, to Diani, every 3 months, oh, to Zanzibar, oh, to unwind, right? But as farmers, oh yeah, it feels like you're always in the shamba, year in, year out, making sure that a nation does not starve. But hey, we are going to tackle this together because we are in this together forever. And now this begs the question of the day: how can we, or how do we attract and retain youth in the field of agriculture? I'm going to ask the question again. Question of the day is: how can we, or how do we attract, engage, and retain youth in the field of agriculture? Mm-hmm. Now, if you already feel like wewe unawashwa na jibu, or you really want to react to that question, how you can react is by going to Facebook at A Farmers with a Z at the end, as well as on YouTube at Farmers Media. Leave your comment, your concerns, what you think about it, and let us. Are you a young person? Would you consider going to farming? No? All right. Okay. I'm waiting for the answers. I'll be reading your comments shortly. And as we wait for you guys to react, let us continue with let's forge ahead. Let's forge ahead. And right now, let's talk about a few things or how to help these people. And just a few things that I came across, and I think it's worth we share. Now, the first thing is you see, the fact national policies in Kenya, I'm talking about Kenya, like the Vision 2030, acknowledges the role of agriculture as a key economic driver and further advocates for active involvement of the youth in all the sectors of the economy, coupled with increased access to factors of production and also the access to markets, among others. Now, we have tried looking into markets and how we can revolutionize the market. And there are things like Nairobi food market, that was just recently open, or it's been operating, and then it was officially opened. It's somewhere along Kimbu Road. The fact that you can sell your goods online, you don't even have to go through um, a middleman. You just from the shamba to your to your clients, or to your customers, to your consumers. You see, we've talked about, at least we've tried looking at these things. And if you remember Conrad Kibe, who comes with the evening drive, he's bringing he's talking about a whole series of agribusiness, right? So you see, all these things, like I said, everything is intertwined in agriculture, and that is the best thing about it, or that is the beauty that comes with being involved in agriculture. Now that we have seen that, na tumesema ni sawa, tumesikia, tumefika hapo, let us see some of the things that you can do to help the youth keep this great promise alive. And the great promise is of making sure that we eradicate poverty and starvation in Kenya, and then extend it to Africa, and then hey, who said you can't do global? Exactly. Now let's look at the various ways to engage the youth in agriculture. Although not all of them, not everything in not everything in agriculture is dirty and very, very unwelcoming. Here are a few things that the youth can get involved in, and that means direct injection of resources as well as energies into agriculture. The first one is production. And production does not necessarily mean wearing a djembe and digging trenches and everything. No, it means you could still be the person who knows the flow of everything, and then you mobilize people and have strategies and things that can work out, right? That is the production part. Now we also have the goods and services part, that is selling, you can be selling this thing, the goods and services. You can be the one, like you can offer services of online selling. Sema, I'm going to make an app, and then you farmers, once you have your food, let's make like a soko, like like an online soko here. And you see, let the youth handle that. Let us handle these things. I mean, there are things we can do, just that no one has really. Ni kanob tu kamoja tuwili, we just need to turn and tune, and then everything will be in sync. The other thing is the logistics part, that is the equipment and transport. Like I said, you could be operating the earth moving machines that come to maybe harvest. I think I've ever had something like a combine harvester. I don't know what that is, but hey, if you're interested in equipment and heavy machinery, you can even sell these things, provide them for. You can even have a company where you get this, you have these things, and then you hire them out, either with drivers or not. I mean, that is still being actively involved in agriculture. There's also the other part of value addition. I think this is my favorite, because potatoes are included, and then you can process these potatoes into potato chips. Exactly, and potato bites, exactly. Now, but hey, let's go back to what you're talking about. Yeah, value addition. You food process. You make. You can even I think recently I was watching a feature of where farmers in this country have been planting food, and then instead of just selling them to markets for people to come by, probably go cook, they sell them to a company that is processing this food into dry food, like manago in a can. I don't know how it's dried, and then it's packaged, and then the food travels all the way to, I think, the outside nations. Ukomaj, overseas, let's call it overseas, right? And when they get this the sachet of maybe manago leaves, all they need to do is dip them in, I think, in warm water, and then within a short time zimeiva, and then you can eat your food. I'm thinking, hey, this must be a really awesome thing, right? Exactly. Food processing, you see, that is still being actively involved in agriculture. Who said you just have to have torn gumboots and a very dirty dust coat going to the shamba? You can do cool things like those ones. You see, that's what I'm saying. Those are just some of the things that we need to tell the youth. Hey, kuna hizi vitu tunaweza fanya bado, because I've noticed you just can't, you can't, kuna vitu wezi lazimisha, the things you just can't lazimisha. Ni kama upeleke ng'ombe kwa kisima, they are, umezitoa home because zimekuwa zikikula all day long, ukasema hey, cha zikunywe maji before zirudi kwa zizi, and then you take them there, and then you have to force them drink water. No, if they don't drink, watajisort usiku, they will have to come there the next morning. You see, it's the same thing. We can only talk of so much. We can only offer too much or too many solutions. But you see, the rest of the decision making rests entirely on you. Have we convinced you? Do you feel like you're lost? If you're lost, hey, reach out to us. Let us walk with you every step of the way, because it is important. And you see, we're preaching, going back to the table, pulling our resources as well as our energies together, and going into the farm actively. Sisi wote, bega kwa bega, tunaenda tunasema, nyinyi mnakuja kulima, nyinyi mna make the trenches, nyinyi mnamwaga the seedlings, these ones will come and weed and cultivate, and then we will all come and harvest. You see, I know it is not as simple as just 1, 2, 3, but hey, it is very simple as well, right? Exactly. And to that effect, that reminds me, right, that reminds me of our breakfast show quote of the day, and it says, "Farming looks mighty. Farming looks mighty easy when your plow is a pencil and you are 1,000 miles from the cornfield." And it's by Dwight D. Yes, exactly. Let me just repeat that real fast. The breakfast show quote of the day is, "Farming looks mighty easy when your plow is a pencil and you are 1,000 miles from the cornfield." Yeah, I know. And at times we make farming look very very simple, but just by our by how we speak. But hey, like I said, you don't have to do or go into this alone. No, 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 no. All you need to do is make sure that you are working with other people, and let them hold your hand, let them show you, let them tell you, ukitoka hapa unaenda hapa, and you do this, and then we come back and you are able to get this and that and the other thing. Are we together? Yes, like I said, you don't have to carry the whole bulk of sasa ni mimi lazima I should be the one who's making a new way. No, you don't have to make a new way and fail at it, and then no one will ever pita that way again. Wote watakuwa na cross the other side. No, like I said, extensive research, extensive intensive research is appropriate. Once tumefika hapa, what else do you need to know? Because there's always something extra you can do. Like we've been looking at the process of probably before let's talk about maize, right? The process that you must follow before that, it's going to know which are the best seeds that we need. How ready is our farm? Do we need ilimwe, tutoe magugu shambani, uangalie pH, the pH of the soil. You also bring someone to tell you, hey, here you might get 1 to 3 pests, so go get ready with these pesticides and homicides and everything, right? And then bring everything together, and then sit down and say, once we plant them, what might come to the weeds? So you are ready to have someone to come and weed, or you yourself, and with the help of other people, because again, you just can't weed everything out alone. It is a whole lot, right? Weed things out, or uproot the weed as well as cultivate, and then ukam utegea, and then you harvest it. You see, before you even start planting, all the things you had to make sure you had in control. Yeah, kunaweza tokea pesticides gani, pests gani, so you go buy pesticides. When we're here, what will we need for them to, when we are coming to cultivate, what will we need? You run, make sure it's there. We need these seedlings, but before we do, how ready is our soil? What else do we need to do? Do we need to plow again the whole farm? You see, it is exactly what I mean. When we give you what we give you, and you feel like, I just need to sit down kidogo, make up my mind, 1 2 3 4 is alright. But if you feel like, mahali nimefika bado niko peke yangu, hey, reach out. That is why we are here, and we are going to come assist you and make sure that you are taken care of, right? Exactly. Now, this conversation is live on all our social media handles. We are on Facebook at A Farmers with a Z, at least Apple Musho, and also on YouTube at A Farmers Media. Remember to keep this conversation going. And the question of the day, one more time for anyone who's joining us for the first time now, how can we attract, engage, and retain youths in the field of agriculture? I can see your comments coming in, and I'll be reading them in a short while. But until then, make sure at least you're involved and you are talking to me. My name is Grace Mothoni, and this is the Breakfast Show, and we come to you every single day from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. all the way to 10 a.m. in the morning. We are due for another break, and as we take this break, I need you to think about the question of the day. Yeah? How do we attract, engage, and retain the youth in the field of agriculture? When we come back, I'll be reading or sampling some of your comments, and then I'll be giving a few solutions hapa na pale, sio mingi, ni kidogo tu, and recapping everything, as well as winding up between. Then in the meantime, between time, keep sanitizing, maintain physical distance of about 1.5 meters to 2 meters, and make sure your face mask is on. I'll see you on the other side of this break.
majina ni Emmanuel Lelei ama Olelei Lelei kwenye Facebook. Mimi nashughulika na drip installation, na hiyo ndio kazi ambayo tunaifanya. Kwanza kabisa ningependa kuwashukuru African Farmers Club kwa huu wakati ambao wameweza kunialika katika ofisi yao. Ningependa kusema ya kwamba venye nimeweza kualikwa mahali hapa, mimi ningesema ya kwamba itakuwa ni ushirikiano ulio mwema baina ya drip irrigation, Tips Hub na Africa Farmers Club. Nimekuwa nafanya hii kazi kwa muda mrefu. So far niko na 6 years kwa mambo na installation of drip, na kazi yenyewe ni nzuri, ninaipenda. Kitu ambacho ningependa kuwahimiza wananchi, hakuna mtu unaweza ukafanya kitu kama hujaweza kuipenda mwenyewe. So mimi napenda kazi yangu, kazi ambayo naifanya naipenda, na ndio sababu nimeweza kutilia maana ama nimeweza kuweka kigongo kwenye kazi ambayo naweza kuifanya ya drip installation. So kazi yetu tunaifanya, na leo nimeweza kupata hii nafasi ya kuweza kuwa pamoja na African Farmers Club. So ukitaka kunipata kwenye mtandao Facebook, utanipata kama Olelei Emmanuel, ama unipate na Olelei Drip Irrigation Tips Hub. Kwa Gmail utanipata emmanuel.lei@gmail.com, na kwenye YouTube bado utanipata kama Irrigation Tips Hub. Nambari yangu ya simu kwa wale ambao wanaweza kuwa wanauliza, nambari ya simu ni 0720041484. Ningependa kabisa niweze kuonyesha emitter ni nini na kazi yake na umuhimu wake pia ni nini. Unapoitazama hapa kuna drip line, na utaona ukiangalia kwenye sehemu ya juu kuna sehemu moja iko na hizo shimo ambayo inatoa maji, hiyo tunaita emitters. So maji, wakati wote maji inatokea kwenye hizo emitters, na hiyo emitter ikiweza kuwa uchafu ikiweza kuingia humo ndani haiwezi kutoa hiyo maji. So emitters ni kitu muhimu sana kwa drip line, maana hiyo ndio ina release maji iweza kuenda kwa mmea. So ningependa kueleza tu kwamba mtaweza kujua wakati unafanya installation ya drip, kama wameinstall shamba yako, make sure unaangalia kila wakati hizo emitters kama zimeangalia juu ama zimeangalia chini. Zikiangalia chini, hapo in the bottom yake kuna kuanga na chances ya uchafu. Wakati uko na uchafu kwa tank, ipite kwa filter, ikifika pale itaweza kublock hizo shimo na zitaweza kutoa maji. Number 2, wakati unafanya installation hapa kuna aina moja ya starter connectors, na ambayo hizo starter connectors hii tunaita min valve, ambayo ina uwezo unaweza ukaifunga mwenyewe ama ukaweza kuifungua. Kama unavyoona kuna maji yanatoka, na kuna ambayo ni direct starter connectors. So hii ni mojawapo ya mkulima mwenye anaweza akatumia kitu kama hii, maana anaweza akacontrol, ama ako na maji kidogo, unaweza ukacontrol wakati umefanya installation yako, unaweza ukacontrol hii maji, maana hii itakuwa na kazi kubwa.
A nursery bed is a small area of a yard or garden that's used for growing certain selected plants. The goal of a nursery bed is to grow young plants to a certain size at which they can be easily transplanted. A nursery bed can also be used to evaluate plants to see if they are worthy of planting in the larger garden, to observe their growth, habit, and color, or watch them for pests and diseases. A nursery bed is especially helpful for vegetable gardeners practicing succession in planting, in which a steady supply of fresh produce is maintained.
A very good morning to you. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. We are 10 minutes away from 10 a.m. in the morning. My name is Grace Musoni, and this is our Farmers Media, where we are telling the story of the African farmer one story at a time. And this is the breakfast show, and it comes to us every single day from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. all the way to 10 a.m. in the morning. And you see, we're just 10 minutes away from 8. But hey, I will not leave you high and dry. I will sample all the comments that you've been sending me, and thank you so much that you could participate here. Now, before we delve or before we jump into what I want us to talk about, or the last leg of this show, I just want to remind you that COVID-19 is here, and this time it is really mighty and heavy, and it's dealing with us, and it's dealing us heavy blows by almost taking all our loved ones away. So kindly remember to have your face mask on every time you leave the comfort of your home or your house. Yeah, and the mask goes over your nose and over your mouth. Also remember to make sure that there's a physical distance between 1.5 to 2 meters between you and the next person. Also remember to sanitize. Unafaa kuwa unakaa tu hivi hadi mwili nakumbuka aya, we have not sanitized. Or if you're able to access water points where you can wash your hands, please do so, and make sure they are clean. At least unasugua mikono not less than 20 seconds, right? Exactly, because it is super spreading, and we need to keep ourselves safe and and our loved ones. And like I said, we are going to raise an ocean of warriors should we defeat this thing. We do not want to go down history as statistic numbers, but we want to be on the other side of telling the tale. And how we do that is by making sure you are well guarded, I am well guarded, and everyone else is taking care of themselves. Now, are we together? Is that right? I want to remind you of the breakfast show quote of today, and it reads like this: farming looks mighty easy when your plow is a pencil and you are 1,000 miles from the cornfield. Yeah, that should strike hard, right? Now, this month is we've been celebrating and will continue celebrating until the 31st of March, the Women's History Month. There are women have gone through a whole lot, and now we are giving them a voice and helping them, realize all the potential in them, without forgetting the fact that in agriculture they are needed as much as every other sector in this country, or in the African continent. And to that effect, today we're talking about the young farmers or the youth and how we can engage and retain them into agriculture or into farming, because hey, farming has been left now for the elderly who are just live in the villages alone, and the rest of us are, actively involved in urbanization. Tuko huku town centers tumetesa, but we are going home, but we are staying hungry because now there's not enough food to go around to everybody, you see. And that is why we need to get involved so that we can make sure that we have enough food security in the country, in the continent. And then just maybe we might think of going overboard, or at least selling our produce. And that begs the question of the day: how can we, or how do we attract, engage, and retain the youth in the field of agriculture? Now, I've been seeing your comments, they're coming in thick and fast. I'm reading all of them, so keep them coming in. How you can send them or how you can talk to me is by when you go to Facebook. We're live on Facebook at A Farmers, and also on YouTube at A Farmers Media. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Are you a youth? What do you think the government is doing in your country? If you're not a Kenyan, if you're not a Kenyan, in your country, yeah, whatever it is that you're watching us from, is your government doing enough to empower the youth to go into farming? Let me know. Now, we've talked about just ways of how the youth could invest, or not really invest, how they could get involved, because one of the reasons as to why the youth, how are you involved so much in agriculture, is because they think the work that needs to be done in agriculture is painstakingly a lot, and it's too tedious, and it's so unrewarding. Yeah, but then we have seen there are some things we can still do on our phones, or even in whichever capacity that we are in, and we'll be able to actively be involved in agriculture in this continent. Yeah, so right now I'm just going to give you a few things of what the young farmers are now being attracted to, and what is pulling them back into farming. So these are just a few things you can add. You can even tell me what else that pulled you into farming if you're a youth and you're in farming. Is that all right? Now, the young farmers in Africa or world over, they are they are taking a distinct approach into agriculture, and they prefer shorter season to high value farm enterprises, and this include horticulture. There's poultry keeping, there is beekeeping, and then there is rabbit and pig rearing. Tu vitu tu sima vitu mingi. In 3 months kuku zako zimeanza kutaga mayai, you can take them to the market another probably 3 months, and then you have a new set of chicken. And then these ones, now once they're tired, you can either sell them, or sell them. And then you see ni kitu ya haraka haraka inaendaenda, because the millennials or the young people are not as patient as the people who have been there before. And you see, that is why they just hawataki kitu inashinda kwa shamba. Too many things are just lay there in the shamba. It does not make sense to them all the time. So you see, they are, however, attracted to the shorter term season, growing or producing of stuff, and it is alright. It is the fastest way we're going to get them back into the system, or back into this way. Hey, wow, it's alright. Let's go back. Let us do that. Also, there are a few things we can do, we as a community, and they are not it's not something totally new, but it's something that we need to think about entirely. And yeah, and before we go there, let me just give a shout out to Victoria's Farms and Enterprises. Yeah, thank you so much for always tuning in, the Out of Farms. Thank you so much for always tuning in and sharing our content, our videos. We appreciate you. And remember, in case you're just joining us now, since the show began, manze umechelewa sana. However, ni sawa sawa too, because we are live on Facebook, and once this live feed is over, you can still go back and rewatch the video. And remember, I keep saying, if you feel stuck after we have given you all this information, after we fed you na hizi vitu zote, Conrad akuja kuambia agribusiness ni poa, lima has avocados, if you feel like you're stuck at any one point, or even when or even when when my you know my team my workmates come here and tell you do you like what are you doing with now that the rain is about to come here and probably wash away the soil or something like that, yeah. And if you feel like you're stuck, you can always reach out to us. We will gladly walk with you, recommend people, recommend things, and walk the journey with you. You don't need to feel stuck, because hey, remember we are telling the story of the African farmer, one story at a time, and we're here to walk with you every step of the way. Are we together? Yes. Now that that's out of the way, let us look at some of the things that we can do. Sisi kwa sisi, we can provide training and technical assistance, to these young ones. Yeah, let them. Okay, come useme, hey, I feel like I can keep pigs. I can keep pigs. Yeah, but I don't know the first thing about pigs. The only thing I know is that they give us very good bacon and sausages. What you see, you have a task. We have a task of showing them now. That is not all there is to pigs. You need to do 1, 2, 3. You need to observe 4, 5, 6 when you're building where they're going to stay. You need 4, 5, 6. You need to do this. You need to, let's train them. Let's give them the technical assistance they need to be able to keep whatever it is that they want to keep, or so they can be able to venture into whatever agri business that they want to venture into. Are we together? Enabling them, giving them training and technical assistance. The second thing you can do is encourage them to become active in local politics and governance. Now, before you start throwing stones in our glass house, let me tell you something. It does not mean that they become politicians and then they go there and get infected by that, by power and everything else, and then they become just like everyone else. No, we're talking about lobbying the government to make terms of agriculture in whichever country you are listening to us from, or whichever country you're living in. Let them be able to waseme hapana, as farmers mnatupatia percentage kidogo sana ya pesa. Hizi fertilizers haziwezi toshea 47 counties. No, we need more things. We need more seedlings. We need more capital. We need market, things. Let them be able to lobby, encourage them, because, well, first of all, politics are attractive to the youth as well. Manzi, I just don't know what we're going to do, but hey, we need to start right now, yeah? Encourage them. It is not bad to be lobbyists, but also make sure they understand why they are lobbying. Make sure they understand why they are doing what they are doing, because hey, wakiingia hapo hivyo alafu wapotoshwe, that's it. The time we treat others, it'll be kaput, yeah. So that thing you can do, provide seed funding, or at least for guys who want to start maybe keeping animals. Provide them with with these things. One year you need the 4 pigs, I can give you one on loan. Once that's what you're supposed to do, I'll come for it. Help them out, finance them, fund them, yeah. Hata kama it will be a loan, so that they can know they need to wake up and work every day, because if you give it to them for free, they might never come back and nothing might happen. Now, the other thing is train the youths on financial literacy, credit management, and business planning. Now, most of us can plan a business, and this business will involve me buying a bag, and once it does not suit me, or it does not it does not get to what I wanted, or it's not close, I sell it again. I make a profit of probably 1,000 bob or 500 bob, and that for me is enough, right? Or even the businesses people are doing, you go get a whole bill, come sell, and you're done, right? It's that simple, right? The money you get, so long as it's enough for the next bill, or it's enough for whatever you need until next time you need the money, and the cycle continues. Now, when we come, or when we as the youth or the young farmers come into business, we will need, or into this agribusiness business, we'll need someone to train us in financial literacy. There is so much mathematics that goes into farming. Oh, I'm not scaring anyone. Oh, I hope I'm scaring anyone. You don't need to have geometrical sets and a calculator. No, it is just the financial. How do you inject capital? Where do you even get this capital from? Once you do this, how do you make sure that you don't go on a loss? I mean, you don't use more money than you had intended. You don't go overboard, and start working with negatives and everything. It is as simple as that. Yeah, I want to make it sound simple because mathematics and most of us, it just can't. It's not workable, right? And help us be able to have business plans because hey, we're doing this for the first time, and yeah, and it is not as simple as me growing tomatoes and you growing tomatoes and then us going and selling it in the same place. I mean, it might never work, and that is why for most people it doesn't work because when they come here, no one tells them for business plan to work, you need to look at this, do things differently like this, and the huku rudi huku. You see, as simple as that, right? Exactly. Now we also need to help to get market for our produce and also support us in negotiating contract farming agreements with buyers. Now, here is where everyone gets lost. Yeah, our parents, no one taught them how to negotiate. No, with contract negotiation with buyers who are getting our goods. Yeah, and then that is why inafika mahali mnaambiwa hapana, by the way, we won't even pay you because 1 2 3 you didn't fulfill this 1 2 3 here, or when you're signing the agreement will get to party do and you just signed, so you didn't look at everything, or you didn't go through all the what are they called, all the agreements and all the clauses and everything in there. That is why you really need to read, you need to understand, and when you don't understand, ask questions. You don't even have to ask them, come with someone else who's done this before, let them explain it to you. You see, so as the young people who are just coming into farming, we will need, and you will need this help. That is why you need to reach out, and the people who already have been here and have done this, they need to come here and give us this insights. Watuambie mkifanya hivi tunaenda hivi tunarudi hivi. You see, exactly, that is what that is what I mean every other single time, right? Now what we need is the other thing we can do is digitize agriculture. Like I said, if there was a way we could be on our phones and then to komchanga and then voila, plants are already on the ground. Oh yeah, tungekuwa tushaendeko kitambo. But now that it is not there, here is what we can do. The new generation of the youth in agriculture are heavily dependent on the use of technology. And they're bringing a new dynamism and perspective to agriculture. So if anyone wants to hold the youth's hand, yeah, make sure you involve digital tools and terms here and there so that you can attract them. Yeah, tell them we have apps ready waiting for you guys to bring, to just create a market. Bring your things, have a market here, do this 1 2 3, move from here to here. This is how you can access us if you need us. Make it engaging, because I told you the youth too need a shiny object. And I think the shiny object for them to be attracted into farming is going to be digitizing agriculture. Let's face it. Right now, we can't just be ignorant about digital migration and movement of every other, a sector in the economy of this great nation as well as of this great continent. Exactly, and we're all moving towards there. So let's to move sisi wote hivi with the youth, that let's hold them na tuambie make, let's do this. Yeah, now I might stay here talking the whole day, but I'm going to talk or some of these comments that you've been sending through. Remember the question that I had asked earlier, or we had asked ourselves earlier, was how can we, or how do we attract, stroke, engage, and retain youth in the field of agriculture? I see Sarah Wanjiko anasema the youth should be encouraged more in engaging in agriculture as a source of income. Correct. And there's something we also need to know, that farming iko benefits mingi sana. And let me just read something here. Agriculture provides employment, income generation, and food security, all the while reducing poverty through increased productivity, value addition, and it has links to other sectors. Yeah, and we talked about it, but I'm going to do a quick recap of like about 2 minutes before before I tell you goodbye. Right? We also have forgive me for not pronouncing your name well, but hey, I will need it. There's Adebola Babatunde from Ibadan, Oyo Estate. anasema, or he says, youth get involved in agriculture when they get passion for it, and some get inspired by friends, mentors, some through the raw feedback they get from agriculture, and some get interested because of the futuristic value. He goes further to say youth will shy away from agriculture when they are practicing with crude tools and no capital to extend or expand. He also says the best way to involve youth in agriculture is to motivate, inspire, and give them the best technical tools so that agriculture will be fun for all. Thank you so much. He's talked about so many things. Let's start from the first paragraph. He said youths get involved in agriculture when they get passion for it. Yes, passion ni muhimu, but e passion pia it needs to be cultivated. Exactly. Now and then some get inspired by friends. Yeah, if you see me, keeping poultry and it's giving me money and it's doing well and I'm involved, I will inspire a friend and they'll be like, Aki, you need to hold my hand so that I can also be able to do what you're doing. You see, that is, I have pulled one person, and then this person will pull another one, mwingine atapull huyu mwingine, another one will start farming strawberries. The second person it is we will be attracting each other like that, right? So others will be inspired by friends, others by mentors. Yeah, who do you look up to into farming? And they need to be people who are tangible. Don't look at someone who lives in Guinea Bissau and you're in Kenya and you can't even call them to tell them, hey, my tomatoes are going bad, or my tomatoes zinafika hapa zina kwa redundant. Yeah, exactly. You need to have a mentor in farming, but a mentor who is accessible and tangible. You can call them and you can even have face to face. You can visit their farms, you get involved with them at real time. Yeah, that's what I mean by tangible. Also, he also says the futuristic value. Yeah, the fact that kuna rewards zinakam. Tukilima hii shamba hivi eka 20 za tomatoes, yeah. In the next how long does do tomatoes take to get to to, when they look at the time frame and they're like, probably in 4 or 5 months, tutakuwa na hii kitu basi. All of them, they will be looking forward to that time because hey, money will be coming in and those will be rewards and it will keep them motivated and going to the farm almost every day. Exactly, like I said, the young farmers or the youths are attracted to rewards and good rewards for that. Now, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Adebola. Thank you so much. I also have Mohda Mohammed anasema farming is one of the best paying jobs. Youth need to know this. Yes, Mohda, we cannot agree more. As in, sambamba, that is so right. We also have Zaron Dave anasema they should be encouraged to get involved in agriculture, and empowerment is important. And he is from Nigeria. Thank you so much, Dave. We also have John Amboga anasema space of operation, capital information and marketing. Yes, like I said, it is also, he touched on a few things that we touched on earlier, saying that for us to attract the youth, we need to make sure that some of these things are looking well, or the things that the society can do to also help us. Because hey, if we wait on the government, they might never deliver, they might never come. And according to how I've heard they work like this, backtrack. So by the time on a forward, tutakuwa tushaenda. Yeah, and also he has touched on a very good Amboga John has touched on a very good thing by helping us with space. Like I said, space is limited, or space that some of us are going to share won't be enough, and there are spaces that are just free. You can rent it to us, you can tell us, let's do this together. So long as it works, it's going to be good. He's also talked about capital. Help us with these loans, show us where to get them, show us what to do with this money, how to invest wisely, how to utilize it to also maximize on profits. Also information and marketing. Exactly. I just can't come and tell you to pick a pigs and be and ununue piglets 1 2 3 4 and then keep them and then everything, as in, what are you telling me? Exactly, right? Yeah. So that is what we need to get the youths engaged and retain them in the agriculture sector. Now, let me just remind you of everything we've talked about in really, in a short while, and not really in a short while, but in the shortest time possible. Today, we've been talking about youth's participation in agriculture, and we are trying to attract them and retain them in the field of agriculture because the future of this continent, the African continent, relies heavily on agriculture, and we also need to have food security for a rainy day in whichever country, whatever time. Yeah, it is very sad that food does well in Africa, growing food here. I mean, we are the ones who have the most indigenous plants, and all the herbs and good trees and everything that we need right here. But it's also a shame that we are the ones who starve year in, year out. That is why we need to get the women and the youth involved in farming, because the men have already started and they are already in that revolution. So we need to pull our resources together, our minds together, our energies together, our labor together, and be able to build, strong foundations on food security, so that even when the kids, when you're not CBC in this country, you can really walk into, just transition well, from school into farming, from, realizing that agriculture is awesome and cool, and start farming, right? We have looked at some of the things that make or do not attract the youth into farming, and they are the following, the negative imagery of farm families that are just, you know, devastating to watch. They look unkept, they look misinformed, they look like they don't even have a life, yeah. And you see, that is the opposite of what the youths are. The youths are high in whatever they get high in, that is high in music, probably high in mathematics and everything else. But now you can't get them to come here and enjoy the same high. When they look at the families, they just look the kid, they're all about to drop dead. No, that is not funny. So they won't get attracted to it. And then reports of unpaid farmers, and I'm telling you, this is devastating to come from a family where your parents are farmers, and then you keep missing things that your needs are not taken care of because mnaona hawalipwi by the people who are buying their food, maybe the companies or even the government. Why would you want to walk into the same trap? Yeah, so that really highly discourages the youth from getting involved with farming. The other thing is devastating post-harvest management. Yeah, like I was saying, I give an example of a time when in Kenya lori zilikuwa zimekwama kwa barabara with food, and the food was rotting away. And when we went, when questions were asked, it was found out that the government and the guy and the storekeepers, or at least the warehouse guys, were not in agreement, and then the farmers had not been informed. Harvest imefika, you have harvested you produced, and as per your agreement, you need to take this food to those warehouses, and then you can go get your money processed. And then now you see it just became a very ugly scene, and that cannot even attract us. And then the youth don't think that agricultural jobs are rewarding, and so they shy away, and that is something we need to speak into or look into. But we've said that not everything about agriculture could be dirty and unattractive. There are things we could do like logistics, people who can handle the equipment and transport of this food. And that is cool, right? I know I would enjoy transport, being a driver to drive these things. Exactly. I would love to. We also have value addition, food processing. I give an example of potato chips. I think if I were a farmer, the first thing I would want to get involved with is potatoes. Irish potatoes to be precise, because hey, potato chips, manze. We also have things like entrepreneurship. You can be entrepreneurs. It's a whole lot, yeah. And to even understand more about agribusiness and entrepreneurship in agriculture, join Conrad Kibe at 3 to 5 for the evening drive, because he's gonna be talking about agribusiness and getting involved in it, yeah. So stick around for that. Also, we have seen that farmers, or the young farmers in Kenya, in Africa, and the world over, hawapendi, they don't like waiting, they are very impatient, so they prefer keeping shorter season farm enterprises such as horticulture, poultry, keeping, rabbit and pig rearing, and it is okay. If it is the fastest way to get this lot back into, this way, it's all right. Yeah, we can be patient with them, right? They won't even know what hit them. Yeah, so that is what we've talked about, and then we have seen just the few things that we can help as a community and how we can help pull the youth together. That involves providing, funding for them, teaching them how to manage the businesses, come up with business plans, teach them how to how to get into contract signing and agreements with buyers, digitizing agriculture, and everything will work together. Like I said, if you can find the easiest way to digitize agriculture, every youth will be on board, regardless of how passionate they are. Right? They will come on board, right? And that is what we are talking about when we are saying that it is time the youth get involved. We have already brought them on the table. Now let's take them to the farm. Tuwatoe hapa kwa hii meza, eh? We have sat here for long. Now let's hold hands and walk into the farm together, and let us make sure that everyone is involved, including the women, and the men are getting assistance because they have been holding this this sector for quite some time. It is time that everyone got involved. Now, before I leave, let me remind you that this is a breakfast show and it comes to you every single day from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. all the way to 10 a.m. with me, Grace Muthoni, only on Farmers Media. And we are telling the story of the African farmer, a story at a time. Yes, now once this live feed is over, do not go too far, because we have tailor-made programs that will suit each and every need of your farm, and you can get information as much as you need. And remember, if you get stuck throughout or at any or during any of our programmings, remember you can reach out to us and we will help you by answering your questions, even doing things practically, as well as holding your hands as you start farming. Are we together now? I want to give a shout out to Victoria's Farms and Enterprises. They are our top fans. They share our videos, they share our content, they comment. Thank you so much. And for everyone for participating in this discussion. I will see you again back here tomorrow at 8 to 10 a.m. only on the breakfast show. I will leave you with this quote again for the breakfast show quote. Farming looks mighty easy when your plow is a pencil and you are 1,000 miles from the cornfield. My name is Grace Muthoni, and until tomorrow, keep yourself safe. I will see you. Goodbye.